All right, so you're prepping for a System Configurator interview. Huh. Well, that's awesome. We're going to dive deep into this and hopefully swap out those pre-interview jitters for, some serious confidence.
Yeah.
We've got a career guys for you. Tons of potential interview questions and the inside track on how RoleCatcher's AI can help you really nail those answers.
It's a smart move to be prepared, especially in this field. System configurators are in super high demand. We're talking a projected 10% growth over the next decade. These are the folks who make sure computer systems run without a hitch, customizing them to an organization's needs.
So they're like the, master tailors of the tech world.
Exactly.
Making sure everything fits perfectly.
And that's why it's so important to really shine in this interview. So let's just jump right into some questions that you might encounter.
Okay, first up, can you explain your experience with system configuration? Now, this might seem like a, basic one, especially for an entry-level position, but what are they really trying to gauge here?
They want you to showcase relevant experience, even if it's not from like a formal job setting,
Well,
Did you work on any interesting projects in school? Maybe you set up your own computer or helped a friend troubleshoot their network. Think about times you had to solve a tech problem or automate a task. Those are golden.
that makes sense. And RoleCatcher's career guide actually suggests, setting up and configuring your own systems just for practice.
Yeah.
It could be through internships, volunteer work, or even personal projects that hands-on experience speaks volumes.
Absolutely. Plus, RoleCatcher's AI can help you pinpoint any skills you might be missing from the job description, so you can tailor your answers to really hit all the right notes.
That's a great tip. Okay, let's move on to a mid-level question. How do you ensure that systems are properly configured and updated? This one seems to be all about demonstrating a clear process.
You got it. They want to know you're proactive about maintenance and security, that you're not just setting things up and forgetting about them. Think regular backups, testing updates in a safe environment before rolling them out. And of course, those all-important security patches.
So basically showing them you're the responsible system steward, keeping everything running smoothly and safely.
Precisely. And don't forget to mention any tools or scripts you use to automate these tasks. Efficiency is key in this role, and interviewers love to hear about those specific examples.
Right. Here's another mid-level question that really tests those problem-solving skills. How do you troubleshoot system configuration issues? I imagine there's a whole range of problems you could be asked about.
Oh, for sure. Think network connectivity problems, software conflicts, slow performance, anything that can disrupt a system, They want to understand your thought process. How do you approach a problem? What diagnostic tools do you use to identify the root cause and find a solution?
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback can be a game changer.
What?
You can practice your answers, record them, and get AI-powered insights on how to improve your delivery and content.
It's like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket. It can analyze your responses, identify areas for improvement, and even suggest alternative ways to frame your answers based on the specific company and role you're targeting.
That's incredible. Okay, let's step back to the basics for a moment with an entry-level question. Can you explain the difference between hardware and software system configuration? Even though it's basic, it's crucial to showcase a clear understanding of the fundamentals.
Absolutely. Hardware configuration is all about setting up the physical components. The computer itself, network devices, peripherals. It's like building the foundation of a house. Software configuration, on the other hand, is about customizing the operating system and applications that run on that hardware, like deciding on the interior design and how the house will be used.
RoleCatcher's guide uses some great examples to illustrate this. Imagine explaining how you installed additional RAM to improve system performance or configured a firewall to enhance security. Having those specific examples ready to go can really solidify your explanation.
I agree. Solid examples make your answers stronger and more memorable. Now let's shift gears back to those mid-level questions. Imagine you're faced with this one. How do you prioritize system configuration tasks? This seems to go beyond just technical skills.
It sounds like it delves into the realm of project management and strategic thinking, right?
Exactly. It's about showcasing your ability to juggle multiple tasks, assess their urgency, and make informed decisions about what to tackle first. They want to see that you understand the business impact of your work and can prioritize accordingly.
So it's not just about fixing things, it's about understanding how those fixes impact the bigger picture.
Precisely. You need to show you can think strategically and align your work with the organization's overall goals. Now let's tackle a question that's often asked in senior-level interviews. How do you ensure that system configurations comply with industry standards and regulations? This is where things can get a little more complex.
Compliance. It's the often overlooked but absolutely essential part of the job, right?
Absolutely. Think about regulations like HIPAA for healthcare PCI DSS for payment processing, or NIST cybersecurity standards. You need to demonstrate that you're aware of the regulations relevant to your industry and how you stay up to date on those ever-changing requirements.
RoleCatcher's Guide highlights the importance of certifications in demonstrating your commitment to compliance and best practices. Certifications like CompTIA, plus MCSE, CCNA, and CICSP can really set you apart from other candidates.
They're like badges of honor in the IT world, validating your skills and knowledge to potential employers. Speaking of skills, let's jump into a question that's becoming increasingly common. Can you explain your experience with virtualization technologies?
Virtualization, it's like magic, right? Creating multiple virtual machines on a single physical server. It seems like experience with tools like VMware, Hyper-V, or KVM is becoming essential.
It is. And you need to be able to explain the benefits these technologies bring, like increased hardware utilization flexibility and easier disaster recovery.
It sounds like there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good idea to have some specific examples ready to go. Maybe a time you use virtualization to streamline a process or solve a particular challenge.
Exactly. The more specific you can be, the better you'll demonstrate your understanding and experience.
All right, let's shift gears to a topic that's always top of mind. Security. Imagine you're hit with this senior level question. How do you ensure system configurations are secure? I have a feeling this one requires more than just a basic answer.
Security is paramount these days, and they want to see that you take it seriously. Be ready to discuss best practices like least privilege access, strong passwords, multi-factor authentication encryption, basically all the layers of protection you'd implement to minimize risks and safeguard sensitive data.
So it's about showing them you're not just configuring systems, but building fortresses.
Exactly. Security is everyone's responsibility, and system configurators are on the front lines of defense.
Makes sense. Okay, let's dive into another question that reflects the current tech landscape. Can you explain your experience with cloud-based system configuration? With cloud computing becoming ubiquitous, I imagine experience with platforms like AWS or Azure is highly valuable.
It's practically essential these days. Be prepared to discuss the benefits of cloud-based systems like scalability and cost-effectiveness, but also address any potential security concerns.
It's about showing them you understand the trade-offs and can navigate the challenges of the cloud while maximizing its benefits.
You got it. It's about showing them you're not just following trends, but thinking critically about the best solutions for each situation. Now, here's a final question that's often asked in senior-level interviews. How do you keep up to date with the latest system configuration technologies and trends?
This one feels less about technical know-how and more about demonstrating your passion for the field and your commitment to continuous learning.
It's all about showing them you're not content with the status quo, that you're eager to explore new technologies and expand your skill set. Think about industry conferences, you've attended publications, you read online communities, you engage with anything that demonstrates your dedication to staying ahead of the curve.
And don't be afraid to mention specific technologies or trends that you're particularly excited about.
Exactly. Enthusiasm and a genuine desire to learn are always impressive qualities.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already. I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of what a system configurator does. But don't worry, we've got plenty more questions to tackle, and we'll delve deeper into the unique value RoleCatcher can bring to your interview prep. Stay tuned for part 2 of this deep dive, where we'll continue to unravel the secrets to acing that system configurator interview.
Welcome back. Hope you're feeling more confident already. We've just scratched the surface of those interview questions, and believe me, there are plenty more where those came from.
Oh, you're right. Let's keep this momentum going. Before we jump back into those questions, though, I'm really curious about RoleCatcher's AI and how it can help someone prepare. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Absolutely. What's fascinating about RoleCatcher's AI is that it's not just a superficial tool. It uses natural language processing to actually understand what you're saying in your answers and compare that to the nuances of the job description.
So it's not just looking for keywords, it's actually analyzing the meaning behind your words.
Exactly. It's like having a personal interview coach who can point out areas where you might be going off track or where you could strengthen your responses. It can even pick up on things like your tone of voice if you use the video practice feature.
Wow, that's impressive. So it can tell if you sound confident or hesitant in your delivery.
You bet. It can provide feedback on your pacing clarity and even your body language, giving you a complete picture of how you're coming across to the interviewer.
That's incredible. Okay, now I'm really eager to hear more about this, But let's get back to those interview questions. I think we left off talking about keeping up with the latest technologies.
Right, which is so important in this ever-evolving field. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about working with clients. You might get a question like, how do you gather requirements from clients and ensure their needs are met in the system configuration?
That's a great one. It's not just about the tech. It's about understanding what the client actually needs and translating that into a system that works for them.
Precisely. You need to highlight your communication and active listening skills. Can you think back to a time you collaborated with a client or a colleague to achieve a technical goal? Be ready to share a specific story that showcases your process for gathering requirements, addressing concerns, and ensuring the final product met their expectations.
Now, I bet RoleCatcher's AI could help with that too. Could it analyze a job description and suggest talking points that would resonate with a specific company's client base?
Absolutely. It can even help you tailor your language to match the company's culture and values. It's like having a customized cheat sheet for each interview.
Okay, that's pretty amazing. So we've covered technical skills, staying up to date, working with clients. What other types of questions should we be prepared for?
Be ready for questions about your problem-solving process. Something like, describe a time you faced a challenging system configuration issue. How did you approach the problem and what steps did you take to resolve it?
Ah, yes, the classic tell me about a time question. It's all about showcasing your analytical thinking and resourcefulness, right?
Exactly. Think about a situation where you encountered a complex technical problem, maybe a system failure or a particularly tricky configuration conflict. Walk the interviewer through your thought process, how you diagnosed the issue, the steps you took to troubleshoot and resolve it, and what you learned from the experience.
It's also a chance to highlight any specific tools or techniques you used. Did you leverage network monitoring software, consult online forums, or knowledge bases? Those details demonstrate your initiative and resourcefulness.
And don't be afraid to talk about what went wrong. Not every solution is perfect on the first try. What matters is showing that you can learn from your mistakes and adapt your approach.
That's a great point. It shows you're willing to grow and improve. What other challenging questions might pop up?
They might ask about your experience with specific technologies or software. For example, what experience do you have with scripting languages like Python or PowerShell? Or are you familiar with configuration management tools like Ansible or Puppet?
Okay, those are definitely getting more technical. How much detail should someone go into when answering these types of questions?
It really depends on the level of the position and the specific skills emphasized in the job description. If scripting is a core requirement, be prepared to discuss your experience in detail, including the types of scripts you've written, the tools you've used, and the challenges you've overcome.
I imagine RoleCatcher's AI can help analyze the job description and pinpoint those key skills, right?
Absolutely. It can save you a lot of time and ensure you're focusing your preparation on the areas that are most important to the employer. For example, if the job description mentions cloud computing, be prepared to discuss your experience with AWS or Azure, even if they don't explicitly ask about it during the interview.
So it's all about being ready to connect your skills and experience to the specific requirements of the job. That makes a lot of sense. What other kinds of questions might come up in a System Configurator interview?
Well, they might ask about your experience working in a team environment. Something like, tell me about a time you had to collaborate with others to configure a complex system. What role did you play and how did you contribute to the team's success?
Teamwork, the backbone of any successful IT project. This is your chance to showcase your communication skills and your ability to work effectively towards a common goal.
Exactly. Think about a project where you were part of a team and achieved a significant technical objective. Describe your role, the challenges you faced, how you communicated with your teammates, and the steps you took to ensure the project's success.
And if there were any disagreements or conflicts within the team, don't be afraid to talk about those too. What matters is how you handled those situations professionally and contributed to a positive outcome.
Absolutely. Conflict resolution is a valuable skill, and demonstrating your ability to navigate those situations effectively is a big plus.
Okay, so we've talked about technical skills, problem-solving, client interaction, teamwork. What other areas might interviewers want to explore?
They might delve into your understanding of security best practices. For example, they might ask, how would you approach configuring a system to ensure data security and compliance with industry regulations?
Security is such a crucial aspect in today's world, especially with the constant threat of cyber attacks and data breaches. It's not just about installing antivirus software. It's about understanding the principles of data security and implementing them at every level of system configuration.
You hit the nail on the head. Be prepared to discuss security concepts like access control encryption, vulnerability management, and incident response. Be ready to explain how you'd apply those concepts to a specific system configuration scenario.
And it's important to stay informed about the latest security threats and vulnerabilities. Mentioning resources like the NIST Cybersecurity Framework or industry-specific security standards can showcase your commitment to staying current.
Definitely, security is a constantly evolving landscape, so demonstrating your willingness to learn and adapt is key. They might also ask about your experience with disaster recovery and business continuity planning.
Those are essential considerations. It's not just about configuring systems to run smoothly, it's about ensuring they can withstand unexpected events and recover quickly.
Exactly. Be prepared to discuss your experience with backup and recovery solutions, failover systems, and disaster recovery testing. If you have any certifications in these areas, be sure to mention them as well.
This is a lot to take in. It seems like a system configurator needs to be a jack of all trades, technical expertise, soft skills, security knowledge, disaster recovery planning. It's a lot to handle.
It can be overwhelming, but remember, it's a journey. Start with the fundamentals, prioritize continuous learning, and utilize resources like RoleCatcher to guide your preparation and connect your skills to the specific requirements of the job.
I love that advice. Focus on continuous learning. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about the ongoing journey of growth and development, right?
You got it.
Yeah, right.
And with the right resources and support, you can navigate that journey successfully and land your dream job as a system configurator. We've covered a lot of ground in this part, from client interaction to teamwork, security, and disaster recovery.
But we're not done yet. In part 3, we'll dive deep into the world of RoleCatcher's AI and how it can help you shine in that interview. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into System Configurator interview prep. We've covered a ton of ground, from tackling those tough technical questions to showcasing those all-important soft skills. But now it's time to unleash our secret weapon,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI.
It's not just a gimmick. RoleCatcher's AI can truly be a game changer in your interview prep. We've touched on it throughout this episode, but let's really break down how it works and what makes it so special.
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
You mentioned it goes beyond simple keyword matching. What did that actually mean?
Well, imagine this. You're practicing your answers, and instead of just getting a generic good job or needs work, you get feedback that's specifically tailored to the job you're applying for. That's what RoleCatcher's AI does. It uses natural language processing to understand the context of both the job description and your answers.
So it's not just looking for whether you mention certain skills, it's actually analyzing whether you explain them in a way that aligns with what the employer is looking for.
Exactly. It can pick up on nuances in your language, identify areas where you could be more specific or provide stronger examples, and even suggest alternative ways to phrase your answers to better resonate with the company's culture and values.
That's amazing. It's like having a personalized interview coach who knows exactly what each employer is looking for. And you mentioned earlier that it can even analyze your tone of voice and body language. How does that work?
So if you use RoleCatcher's video practice feature, you can record yourself answering interview questions as if you were in the actual interview. The AI then analyzes your video, providing feedback on your pacing clarity and even your body language.
That's incredible. So it can tell if you're coming across as confident, enthusiastic, and engaged.
You bet. It can pinpoint areas where you might be fidgeting, making poor eye contact, or using filler words, things you might not even notice yourself.
It sounds like it takes all the guesswork out of interview prep. No more wondering if you're on the right track or if your answers are hitting the mark.
Exactly. And here's another feature that's really cool. RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you find job opportunities that you might not have even considered before. By analyzing your skills and experience, it can match you with employers who are looking for someone with your unique qualifications.
That's like having a personal headhunter working for you 24/7. It must save a ton of time compared to endlessly scrolling through job boards.
Absolutely. It cuts through the noise and connects you with opportunities that are a genuine fit for your goals and expertise.
Wow, RoleCatcher's AI sounds like a true game changer for anyone preparing for a system configurator interview. But of course, technology is only part of the equation. What other advice would you give to someone who wants to stand out in this competitive field?
The best advice I can give is to get hands-on experience. Set up your own systems, experiment with different configurations, break things safely, of course, and learn from your mistakes. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
I love that. Don't be afraid to break things. It's all part of the learning process.
Exactly. And never underestimate the power of networking. Attend industry events, join online forums, connect with people on LinkedIn. Building relationships can open doors to unexpected opportunities.
Those are great tips. And one final piece of advice for me. Believe in yourself. You've got the skills, the knowledge and the drive to succeed.
Yeah, confidence is key. Walk into that interview knowing your worth and showcase your passion for system configuration.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dives into System Configurator interview prep. We've covered a lot of ground, from understanding the role to mastering those tough interview questions, and explored how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that extra edge. Remember, with the right preparation and mindset, you can ace that interview and land your dream job.
And remember, continuous learning is crucial in this field. Stay curious, stay passionate, and keep pushing yourself to grow. The world of IT is full of exciting opportunities for those who embrace the challenge.
That's it for our deep dive today. Go out there and get them.